ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललितान् श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। सद्गुरु गुरुदेव की जय। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते दिव्ये गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वकथाः कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हि भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतां नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरे कृष्ण। So on behalf of Sri Radha Govinda Mandir, ISKCON Kulai, Mangaluru, I welcome all of you on this session for Bhakti Vaibhava Fast Track. And today we are discussing about the prayers of Queen Kunti. Hare Krishna. Hope my voice is audible, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Clear, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we'll refer the presentation also here. And we are on slide number 13. However, we'll just have a recap kind of for this particular chapter. So here the chapter is prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit saved. And as we see the section-wise breakdown of Canto 1, a quick recap that 6 questions raised by the sages of Naimisaranya and the answer was given by Srila Sut Goswami. These are covered in chapter 1 to 3. And history of Srimad Bhagavatam is covered in chapter 4 to 7. And from chapter 7 till verse 11, the history of author of Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned. And then from verse 12 onwards till chapter 19, the history of Maharaj Parikshit, wherein the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, his chastising of Kali, and his meeting with Sukdev Goswami. All these things were covered. So now we are coming to the chapter exactly. The result which is expected is kind of one is the overview and the Queen Kunti's prayer, and then to understand relevance in our own lives and in ISKCON in general of Prabhupada's statement, to insult a chaste woman means to bring about disaster in the life, and how Prabhupada's purport of 8.5 gives insight to his mission and that of ISKCON. And how effectively we have implemented these 5 guidelines which Prabhupada gave in 8.5 purport. The personal application, to describe Queen Kunti and Pandava's dependence on of the Lord, and other examples from Shastra and from their own life, and how Krishna endows more favor to devotee who is in great dangers. That is 23rd sloka. So this is the aim, mood and mission and personal application. So verse 1 to verse 4, Krishna pacifies the Pandavas. Actually, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And being a supreme personality of Godhead, he does not require to follow all the rituals and participates all the activities which are kind of mundane in nature. However, if you remember earlier also, when in Laksagriha, the Pandavas were burnt, and the message came to Hastinapur that all the five Pandavas, including Mother Kunti, has been burnt alive and they have died. At that time also, Krishna traveled from Dwarika to Hastinapur, and he tried to console all the crews there. And he was also kind of weeping and kind of submitting that whatever has happened is not appropriate. So here also similarly, Krishna comes and joins with the Pandavas who are offering oblations to their forefathers and whoever has died in the war. And Krishna also enjoins them, and very clearly Sukdev Goswami mentions, and Prabhupada also further elaborates that the Ganges water is originated from the toe of Krishna, and still, along with all other Pandavas, Krishna also, gets entered into the Ganges. He bathes into Ganges, and he offers oblations also. So he follows the customs and rituals which are prevalent as per the time, place, and circumstances. Though being a supreme personality of Godhead, he considers that like we study in Bhagavad Gita, yad yad acharati shreshto tat tat deve taro janaha. Whatever Krishna will do, everybody else will follow. So Krishna will establish such an example that for the ages, for the yugas and yugas, the people to come like we all, we can understand the importance of following the path of, Vedic wisdom, and to contribute ourselves in the best possible rituals at our time. So from 5th verse to 17th verse, Krishna saves Maharaj Parikshit into the womb of Uttara. And at that time also, we realized that Krishna was just departing. And at that time, Mother Uttara comes running towards him. And Mother Uttara is running in haste, in desperation. And at that time, all the Pandavas were there, right? All Pandavas, which includes Yudhishthir Maharaj, Bhimsen, Arjuna, Nakul, Sahadev, all were there. And even her mother-in-law, Draupadi, was there. And her great mother-in-law, Kunti Maharani, was also there. So, in presence of so many seniors and even so many powerful warriors like Pandava, she chooses to approach Krishna, right? And by choosing to approach Krishna, uh, as such, it may happen that in our regular orthodox way of interactions, the people may feel that she has bypassed the hierarchy. She has taken a shortcut, being a wife of Abhimanyu and being daughter-in-law of Arjuna. She could have well approached Arjuna. Arjuna is a great warrior, well-established warrior, and she didn't approach him. Then she could have even approached Yudhishthir Maharaj. He was the Chakravarti Samrat at that time of entire universe, but she didn't approach him. Even Bhimsen, who has 10,000 elephants force in his one hand, she didn't approach him. Sadev, who could see the future, she didn't approach him, right? And doing all this, I mean, not approaching them, still Pandavas did not feel offended. That is a great virtue. In our present situation, uh, people who are in leadership position, they feel that they are able to protect the subordinates, they are able to guide, they are able to instruct them, and they feel offended if the subordinates directly approach Krishna, right? But in case of Pandavas, they were pure devotees. They did not take offense on that. Number one. Number two, the Uttara was very, clear in her mind that this is a moment of life and death, and not only life and death for herself, life and death for her her child, who was the only, person to carry forward the legacy of Pandavas. So she approached Bhagwan Krishna there, and she knew that before that in the war, her own husband has been died, and at that time also Krishna was present, but Krishna hasn't saved her husband, and she knew that Krishna has not saved her husband, and Krishna may not save even Parikshit, right? But the devotees, they don't care for what Krishna will do. Their only goal is to approach Krishna, right? They are very clear whether Krishna will save or Krishna will not save. That is not their purview. Even if Krishna didn't save Abhimanyu, that was Krishna's decision, and Krishna's decision will always be in my favor. They are very sure about it, right? Maybe immediately it may not look pleasant, it may not look acceptable, but they are so confident on the decision of Krishna, right? Even if she was connected with Arjuna since her time before marriage. How she was connected with Arjuna? What was the reason that she was connected?
Arjuna was her dance teacher.
Hari Bol. Arjuna was her dance teacher, right? In Virat's kingdom, right? He was cursed. Arjuna was cursed by whom? Hare Krishna. Anybody remembers that story?
The
Urvashi.
Urvashi,
Urvashi.
Indra palace.
Yes. So
Indra's
when
palace.
very nice, Mataji. So when Arjuna went to Swarga to meet his father, Hare Krishna, to meet his father Indra, and then Urvashi got attracted to him. And for Apsaras, it was always okay to associate with a different men as per the rules of Swarga. So there was nothing inappropriate for Urvashi. But Arjuna was very controlled in terms of sense gratification, and he said a very logical reason that my forefather came here and he associated with you, so I cannot associate. You are like mother to me. And then Urvashi cursed him that for I think a period of 1 year you have to you will undergo a transformation as a woman, right? And uh, Arjuna very gracefully accepted that curse. In Bhagavatam also we see so many incidences that devotees are very humble in nature. They are very clear about the yams and niyamas to be followed to progress in bhakti, right? And Arjuna accepted that curse, and that curse helped him to pass through this Ajnatavas of 1 year, last 1 year of their exile, Vanvas. It could help Arjuna to remain hidden, So anyway, Uttara was connected since that time with Arjuna, and still she didn't approach Arjuna, and she approached Krishna, and Krishna could have very well said that, okay, bye bye, I'm going, these Pandavas will take care. But no, Krishna was also Suridam Sarvabhutana, right? Krishna stays back. Krishna hears what uh, Uttara was to say. And also Uttara made it very clear that I am not bothered whether I live or I die, but my child, the womb, the embryo in my womb need to be saved. So Uttara is a classic example, you know. She born up in a kingdom. She was a daughter of King Virat. She was a wife of Prince Abhimanyu. She was a mother of Parikshit Maharaj, right? So Srila Prabhupada says there are all excellent qualities were there in Uttara. Similarly, to more women, Prabhupada praised a lot. Who are those devotees? Women devotees? Just raise hands. Kindly don't unmute. Similarly, whose father is very, you know, from a kind of legacy background, good husband, and even children are very meritorious. Okay, tick, tick 1, tick, tick 2, tick, tick 3, tick, tick 4, tick, tick 5. Okay. Kunti Maharani herself, right? Kunti Maharani was also daughter of a king. Then she is a wife of a Pandu. And she is a mother of all the 5 Pandavas. Similarly, one more will come, and I think in the 3rd canto. Yes, Subhamai Harini Mataji. Who is the another devotee?
Gandhari Prabhuji, she was also a very strong character.
She is strong character, but particularly devotee in nature, Prabhupada appreciates in the 3rd canto is a mother. Yes.
Draupadi.
Yes, Siva Kumar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Devahuti Prabhuji.
Devahuti, Hari Bol. Very nice, Siva Kumar Prabhu. Absolutely fantastic, because generally people, we tend to forget, you know, but Devahuti Mata, she was a daughter of Manu Maharaj, and she was a wife of Kardam Muni, and she was a mother of Kapil Maharaj, who is an incarnation of Lord, right? So these are all great devotees of the Lord. And yes, Prema Priya Jaisri Mataji, you want to add something?
Yeah. Sita Mata, Prabhuji, Sita Mata.
Okay, Sita Mata. Out of the Bhagavatam, yes, we have many examples, Sita Mata. So, Uttara, that way is supposed to, you know, see, they are all trained how to walk, how to talk, how to express. Okay, being, you know, coming from such a royal family, they are always trained by example, by nature, and by teacher. So, they are not supposed to run, generally not expected to run, Prabhupada says. But this time they ran, and Krishna, you know, very well appreciates her coming to him. And then Krishna again breaks his vows. And we have, I think yesterday it has been discussed that Krishna's Bhaktavatsala quality is, you know, always ahead than all other qualities. You know, Krishna leaves his quality of truthfulness. Krishna leaves his quality of, you know, Satya Kama. Like whatever he desires becomes materialized, right? Satya Kama. So, but then when Jasoda Maiya used to try to bind him, then he got his compassion power, and then she easily bound him. Similarly, here Prabhupada says that still the time of war is going on, and Krishna is supposed to follow his vow to not to take any weapon, right? Same thing, like he broke his vow when he, you know, tried to protect Arjuna and satisfy Bhishma at the same time by breaking his vow. Similarly, here also he would have avoided to, you know, protect Uttara's embryo, but he immediately forgo his position as a truthful person. He would always like to be considered as a Bhakta Vatsal, Dinabandhu, Karuna Sindhu, rather than he would like to be known as a Satyavachani, Satyakami, right? All powerful. He would not like to be remembered or, you know, be recorded in his actions, pastimes, like such a person. So he enters into the embryo, which is generally considered a filthy place. but still he himself enters and, saves Parikshit before his birth itself. So here in purport, Prabhupada very nicely says that that is the transcendental nature of the Lord. He reciprocates the dependence of the devotee everywhere, every time. One should not therefore look for help from imperfect living beings or demigods, right? Like many a times it happens that people who comes to bhakti, who are arth, there's four kind of sukruti ones, na? Arth, artharthi, jignasu, and gnani. But the arth people, when they come to Krishna and they feel that within the specified time limit, Krishna should work and their problems should be resolved. But if the problems are not resolved in that time limit, they will go to some demigod. They will go to Durga. They will go to Shiva. They will go to, even many of people goes to Bhuta, and then they try to resolve. His Grace Nam Nishtha Prabhuji says that in Mangalore there are many people who believe in this Bhuta. On Amavasya there are big, rows. Thousands of people visit cremation ground, and full night there is a halla gulla, and people try to get that problem solved through the bhutas. But then the devotees are very clear. If Krishna has to help, he will help. Like Uttara was clear that my husband was died, it's okay. And now also if Krishna desires that my embryo need not to be saved, then also it will be his decision. Right? You see, like any pure devotee, they are willing to accept in their life what Krishna decides. Whether Krishna decides to do in opposite way what they perceive, or Krishna decides to delay the things, they are ready to accept. So Prabhupada says that one should look for all help from Lord Krishna, who is competent to save his devotees. Such a chaste devotee also never asks the Lord for help, but the Lord out of his own accord is always anxious to render it. So here Uttara in fact asks for help, that please save my child. Okay. But if at all Krishna decides no, then also it would have been acceptable to her, number one. Number two is that Uttara makes it very clear that no, I have not come to save my life. Okay. That is very big thing. In Kali Yuga, you see there are many deliveries are difficult. And when doctor approaches the family or the mother, that either child or the mother can be saved, then it is always clear that let mother be saved today, in the time of present days, So Prabhupada very clearly says that Kali Yuga has come wherein mother wants to be saved at the cost of child. But the Uttara was a great devotee of the Lord, and she did not want to save herself. Right. So that is also a very big plus point on the side of Uttara. So here I hope this group activity might have been done. So Queen Kunti and Pandava's dependence on the Lord is to be studied in detail, remembered, and that helps us to depend more on Krishna. These pastimes of the devotees of the Lord are very helpful for us to increase our faith on Krishna, increase our dependence on Krishna. And then Krishna says, Ye yathamam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyam. So as we increase our faith and dependence on Krishna, we see more and more reciprocation from Krishna, right? And that reciprocation in turn helps us to come closer to Krishna. And many times devotees are put into calamities by Krishna so that their dependence on Krishna is getting published, and they come closer to Krishna. Like when Krishna was in Vrindavan, and when the Kaliya Nag came, Krishna simply jumped into the waters of Yamuna. And at that time, all the Vrindavan Vasis were in their daily chores. They were doing some activities, some were eating, some were sleeping. So they were doing all these things. And suddenly there were so many omens, inauspicious signs into the atmosphere. And when they realized, they immediately thought that there is some trouble, danger to Krishna. Okay, their understanding of auspicious or inauspicious sign was always connected to Krishna, because their consciousness was always focused on Krishna, right? And then they left whatever they were doing. Somebody was working, somebody was sleeping, somebody was eating. They simply ran. Uh, Even they did not care to close the doors of their house, and they follow the footstep of Krishna. And in Vrindavan, because Krishna in Vrindavan ran without, shoes, so everybody was able to trace his footsteps. Even cows were taking a care not to overstep on the footstep of Krishna. So everybody was knowing where the footsteps were going, and they follow the lotus footprints of the Lord Krishna, and they reached to Yamuna. And Krishna could have come out of the, jaws of Kalia within a moment, but Krishna took time, because he wanted to realize that love, that dependence, that affection in the hearts of Vrindavan Vasis, right? They saw Krishna is, completely bound in the walls of the Kalia. So they just, fainted there. Now there is something big omen. Krishna is in big danger, and they fainted. And in that, separation, there is a unison with Krishna, and Krishna enjoys that love. Anyway, then he came out, and everybody was, joyous. But then same thing happens here in case of Pandavas also, in case of Uttara also. Krishna loves to reciprocate when he is, able to sense or feel the dependence of his devotees on him. So after saving Parikshit, and then Yudhishthir Maharaj requests Krishna to stay for some time. Krishna again, stays for some time to Hastinapur. And then there is a narration that Yudhishthir Maharaj performs Ashwamedh Yagna, right? 3 Ashwamedh Yagnas he performs. And then by doing 3 Ashwamedh Yagnas, his glories are spread across the universe, similar to Indra, who has performed 100 Ashwamedh Yagnas, right? And Prabhupada says that glories of devotee of the Lord are always, superior than the devotee of the Lord of Heaven or any demigods, Just by performing 3 Ashwamedh Yagnas, Yudhishthir Maharaj got that much fame. And wonderful example also Prabhupada gives that like a sun when it comes out, he is equally spreading his light to the every nook and corner of the world. But some people who goes inside the cave, or they get themselves locked into the house, they will not get the light of sun. Okay, but those people who are outside, they can be very well, understand and appreciate the light of sun. So similarly, devotees are more receptive to the mercy of the Lord, and hence they can get the maximum benefit. So Yudhishthira Maharaj that way got a lot of fame. And then when Krishna was living on his chariot, then Kunti Maharani is starting the prayers. So Kunti Maharani's prayers are one of the most famous and most appreciated prayers of Srimad Bhagavatam. As such, Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with the prayers of so many wonderful devotees of the Lord. And there are 4 books, I think, Prabhupada extracted from Srimad Bhagavatam, other than Srimad Bhagavatam. And the first one is the prayers of Queen Kunti, right? And I remember His Grace Namnishta Prabhuji was telling that even when he joined ISKCON in his early days as a brahmachari student, then every day morning they used to recite the prayers of Queen Kunti. So many a times, when I hear he has almost kanthastha, all I think 27 verses are there. right? Wonderful prayers. And there are many devotees I know who also sings these prayers daily, and they also have kanthastha. Maybe many of you also would have remembered many of the slokas. So thanks to Srila Prabhupada, thanks to Nam Nishtha Prabhuji, we are able to remember such an exalted devotee's prayers. Recently, I was invited in one of the Bhagavatam Katha, which was, I mean, by other, not through ISKCON, but I went there and entire, I mean, 3 hours session, they took only 4 hours. And when I heard those things, I realized that hardly, I mean, maybe thousands of people would have joined in Katha. None of them could recite together with the Vakta, from Vyasasana. And that was a great, boon, and we feel lot of joy and, bliss when we recite these verses of Bhagavatam. So these are wonderful prayers. So here Queen Kunti says to Lord that you are not my nephew, right? You are the Supreme Lord. Krishna, may that first verse, na? Namaste Purusam Tvadyam Iswaram Prakute Param Alakshya se Sarvabhutanam Antar Bahir Vyavastita, right? So he says, you are the Supreme Lord. Namaste Purusham. So Krishna may say there are many Purushas. Okay. This world is filled with Purushas. Then says, no, you are not only Purusha. Namaste Purusham Tvadyam. Adyam means you are the first one, the original one. Right? You are not only Purusha, you are Adi Purusha. Right? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Whenever I recite some verse, and if you also remember it, kindly join me. It will help to, create a wonderful reciprocation. So, Anadir Adi Govinda. Then even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham Adir hi Devanam, right? I am the oldest one. There also says. Hmm. Uh, so you are not only Purusha, you are Adi Purusha, Purusham Tvadyam. Hmm. Uh, then he says, many people say that there are many Adi Purush. Even Brahmaji is considered, Prapitama. He is Adi of everybody. Then somebody say that, there are many personalities which are beyond this time cycle. Somebody says even the living beings in the upper planetary system. Upper planetary system is not destroyed during the end of the day of Brahma. So they also live long. So whoever lives long may be considered Adyam. So there may be many Adi Purusas. Then she says, no, no. Not only Adya Purusham, Ishwaram. Right? You are Ishwar. You are Ishwar. Then Ishwar, if they say, then they say, okay, Ishwar, there may not be many Ishwars, but at least let's say Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they are Ishwar. They are controller. Na? Ishwar means what? Who is controlling. So they say even Brahma may be Ishwar. Then Kuntimani says, no, no, not only Adyam, not only Purusha, not only Adyam, not only Ishwar, but then say Prakrute Param. Prakrute Param means Namaste Purusham. Prakrute Param means beyond the three modes of material nature. Right? Brahmaji is not beyond the three modes of material nature. He is representing Rajas. Right? Shivji is also representing Tamas. But Krishna, you are above three modes of material nature. Right? Then he says, Alakshase Sarva Bhutanam Antar Bahir Vyavastitam. So Krishna says, if I am within and without, Antar and Bahir, why nobody approaches me? So Queen Kinti replies in the 19th verse, because you are covered by curtain of Maya. Very wonderful verse. Maya Javanika Channam Agnadhokshajama Vyayam न लक्ष्य से मूढ़ दृशा नटो नाट्य धरो यथा Maya Javanika. Javanika means curtain. There is a curtain of Maya. Maya Javanika. Channam. So it is between Jiva and you. Maya Javanika Channam. Agnya means the people who are ignorant. For them, this covering is there. For the devotees, that covering is not there. But Agnya Dhoksajam Avyayam, right? Adhoksaj, Sri Krishna Avyayam, imperishable, right? So, Alakshasya Sarvabhutanam, Maya Javanika Achinnam Adnyadosajam Avyayam, Sarvabhutanam. I'm missing the last line, yeah. So she says that this curtain of Maya is like a cloud. Prabhupada says that there is a cloud, and cloud may cover few of the people on the ground. Not all the people, right? And not all the time, but few of the people. Similarly, the Agnya, the ignorant people who have not developed the faith may not see the God, right? There is a daytime and there is a light everywhere. But still, if there is a cloud, we can't see the sun, right? Similarly, Krishna is there, and in every activity we can perceive his hand. He is pervaded everywhere. He is there in past, present, and future. But still, if we do not have cultivated the faith, if we have not heard from the right sources, if we have not developed conviction, we cannot experience the presence of Krishna, right? So, Kunti Maharani in the second verse says that there is a curtain called Maya, and due to which people are not able to perceive you. Then Krishna says, but you can see me and praise me. Why do you call yourself ignorant? Right? There is a question. So Queen Kunti says, how can a woman can know you perfectly? Hmm? Kunti Maharani plays a very innocent, sincere, and simple woman's role. And by doing that, it is proved that she is the most intelligent woman, right? So, like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Name Vidu Surganaha, right? Sur means devatas, demigods. They also don't know me. Only by his mercy, bhaktya mam abhijanati, right? Krishna very clearly says, only bhaktya, only devotee, and that also by his mercy, they can know him. And Kunti Maharani says, even demigods don't know you, even Muninam, Paramahansanam, that will come further. But how can I as a woman can know? Similar description Prabhupada gives when Krishna leaves, and Hastinapur ladies from the top of the terrace and from the roofs, they were glancing to Krishna. And Prabhupada says that their, glancing, their talks, though it looks like, very mundane talks, but those are better than the Vedic ruchas, Vedic verses. Krishna considers them better. Like Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya, when he went to South India, and that Brahmin near to Sriyangam, right? He saw him and he asked him, what you know about Gita? He says, I am illiterate. I don't know anything. Just I am following the commands of my spiritual master. And I am trying to understand, understand Gita. And just one scene makes me cry, that Krishna, being the supreme personality of Godhead, still he has become the charioteer of Arjuna, right? How kind, how merciful my Lord is, how compassionate he is. And by that, my heart starts overflowing. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you only knew really the message of Bhagavad Gita. You are the real knower of the message. And similarly, here also Prabhupada says that Kunti Maharani, by these simple prayers, she is able to establish that she is the one of the topmost devotees of the Lord. Then the wonderful another verse prayer is that Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Nama. So Kunti Maharani is offering prayers in gradation. She is now gathering the names of all the fortunate devotees. First he says Krishnaya Vasudevaya. You are the son of Vasudev. Because you are son of Vasudev. Vasudev is very fortunate. But I am a simple woman who cannot understand you. But there are many fortunate devotees, and one is Vasudev. Vasudev. And then next is, he says, Devki Nandanaya cha. Devki is more fortunate than Vasudev because you have personally entered into the womb of Devki. So she is more fortunate. Then she says, Nanda Gopa Kumaraya. Although Krishna has taken birth from the Devki and Vasudev, he was immediately shifted to Gokul. And Nand Maharaj got the best pastimes of childhood of Krishna. So he is more fortunate than Devki. So first fortunate person is Vasudev. More fortunate than Vasudev is Devaki. More fortunate than Devaki is Nand Maharaj. And who is more fortunate than Nand Maharaj? Hare Krishna. Open to all.
The gopis.
Yashodamai.
Yashodamai.
Yashodamai. Yeah, because here all the names are in Vatsalya Rasa. So we'll not take the example of Madhurya Rasa, which is definitely higher. But in Vatsalya Rasa, one name is missing is Yashodamai. Why it is missing? What do you feel? Why Yashodamai's name is not there? Hare Krishna. Yes, Prameswari, Praneshwari, Haripriya Mataji.
In the later chapters, there will be separate description, a very special description about Yashoda Mai.
Hari bol. Thank you, Mataji. So in the 31st verse, the complete verse, the long verse is there only to describe Yashoda Maya, right? So here she has not touched on the name of Yashoda Maya. Govindaya Namo Nama. Govind means who gives pleasure to cows and senses, we know. And when Krishna get this name Govind, when did he get this name? Govind name?
Control of senses.
Pardon?
Control of senses, Prabhuji. Controller of senses.
But then when exactly?
When he gave to Brahma, the Brahma that he gave darshana to that Brahma Vimohana Lila.
No. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Cows and brahmanas.
Govardhan Lila.
Govardhan Lila. Hari
Krishna.
bol. Govardhan Lila. Mohandas Prabhu said, Hari bol.
Yes, Prabhu.
Very nice. Thank you.
Krishna is the protector of cows and
Cows and
Brahmanas.
senses.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna. But that name of Govind was given to him after that Gokul, that Govardhan Lila, Govardhan Lila, when he held the entire Govardhan hill on the last finger of his left hand for 7 days and 7 nights, at that time he got this name. Actually, the Krishna's complete, childhood pastimes are divided. Like first 5 years, generally, any child in first 5 years, it is called Balya Lila. Okay. Then 5 to 10 is called Paugand Lila. Okay. Then 10 to 15 is called Kishore Lila. And beyond 15 is called Yauvan Lila. Right. These are the 4 stages. But in Krishna's case, that is different. Anybody knows how it is different than these standard timelines of 5, 10, 15? Just raise hand, okay? Please don't unmute. How Krishna's timelines are different? Yes, Vamsi Mohan Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
One thing extra is the Kumar Lila.
Okay. Okay, I am expecting some more precise numbers. So, okay, fine. So, the first one, the Balya Lila, generally it is finished in 5 years, but Krishna finishes Balya Lila in 3 years and 4 months. Okay. Then next is a Pauganda, which is 5 to 10. So Krishna finishes the Pauganda not by 10 years, but 6 years and 8 months. Okay. And Kisora, which is generally finished between 10 to 15, Krishna finishes by the year 11. And at the year 11, Krishna has entered into Yauvana. Then throughout the life, he remains in that, age Yauvana. Okay. So Krishna's activities as Govinda are very attractive, actually. Even more attractive than his Balya Lila. So Mother Yasoda, Nand Maharaj, they had access to the childhood pastimes of Krishna. And hence Kunti Maharani remembers them, that they are very fortunate. They are on the top of the list. And as such, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives several reasons that why Yasoda Maiya did not mention the name of gopis as such, because some of you devotees also answered gopis. But why here gopis are not mentioned? Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad says, one is the confidentiality of their prem, right? Their love is highly extraordinary. So she did not wanted to mention this as part of their part of her prayers or their communication. Okay. Secondly, Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad says that they are very esoteric. They are not to be mentioned cheaply in front of anyone. They are of very high standard. The people who have brought themselves above the body consciousness, the people who have realized that I am the eternal servant of Krishna, Jiver Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. Not only I am, even everybody else is a is a servant of Krishna, right? If that stage has come to whom? In Bhagavatam we saw earlier. Which personality has come to the stage above body consciousness? That incident had came earlier in Bhagavatam.
Sukadeva Goswami.
Nargamani.
Sukadeva Goswami, Haribol. Right? Yes. Madhura Mansi Mataji, same I think you were telling, right? Sukdev Goswami.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sukhdev Goswami.
Sukdev Goswami. So Sukdev Goswami, when he ran, then the girls were bathing and they did not cover their body. But when Maharishi Vyasdev came, they did cover. So that shows that Sukdev Goswami has come to that stage. So for them, it is okay to discuss, but for others, it is not supposed to be discussed. So that was the second reason. And third reason, Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad says that everyone is not qualified to taste that rasa, right? And hence she did not wanted to mention the names of gopis in her first list of personalities who are more fortunate than her. So Kunti Maharani is mentioning all these things with a purpose, because among all the incarnations of Krishna, there are many incarnations. Like before that, he came as Lord Ram also, right? But then among all incarnations, the most approachable incarnation is Krishna's incarnation, and he is more approachable than Ram also, because he was king's son. Ram was a king's son, right? While here Lord Krishna, though being a king's son, he was immediately transferred to Gokula, and he passed his life Balya Lila, Paugan Lila, Kaisora Lila, and even some part of, let's say, Yauvana. He spent in as a cowherd boy, right? So he was more approachable. And even in Ramayana, the Balyakand related description is very less. While in Bhagavatam, if you see, major part of 10th canto is focused on Balya Lila. So all these devotees, what she mentions, Devki, Nanda Maharaj, then Gopabalas, these are the personalities who had access to the Balya Lila of Krishna, right? So they are very fortunate. Vrindavan pastimes are the best pastimes of the Krishna. Krishna walked barefoot in Vrindavan. Nowhere else. That's why the dust of Vrindavan is very important. As soon as Uddhava reaches Vrindavan, he just falls flat. This is the dust where my Lord is walking barefoot. So even Parikshit Maharaj appreciates the childhood pastimes of Krishna in the 10th canto, 7th chapter, first 2 verses. He says that there is no parallel to Krishna's childhood pastime. Whoever hears Krishna's pastimes, he immediately transcends. He says so, right? So then in the second 22nd, I think, verse it comes. This one is from the reference of the 10th canto, and then 23rd. Okay. Krishna endows more favor to the devotee who is in greater danger. This is again wonderful comparison which Kunti makes. But before that, in the 22nd verse also, Kunti offers wonderful prayers. Namah Pankaj Nabhaya, Namah Pankaj Maline, Namah Pankaj Netraya, Namaste Pankajangre. So she starts with navel. She doesn't start with the lotus feet of the Lord. Because the moment she says Namaste, then immediately Krishna becomes, attention. He says, you are my aunt, right? Bua in Hindi, what we say. Hmm? You are my Bua. And being Bua, you are in the level of my mother. How you can offer obeisances to me? So she starts with the navel. She doesn't start with the lotus feet. But then ultimately she ends at the lotus feet. Namaste Pankajangre. So everything is Pankaj, 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 Pankaj means lotus. Kunti Maharani says here that your navel is like lotus. Nama Pankaj Nabhaya. Nama Pankaj Maline. You have wore a beautiful garland of lotus. Mostly you will visit ISKCON temples, you will see that some or other devotees, in spite of whatever the season is, they arrange is a lotus flower. Generally there is a wonderful garland made by the devotees. Generally in some of the temples they outsource the garlands, which is made by the general flowermen. But in general ISKCON temples, you see there is a group of Matajis who sits beside and always making garlands for the Lord. So Kunti Maharani is remembering Nama Pankaj Maline. We have wore that garland of lotus. And then she ended with the lotus feet. And Srila Prabhupada writes wonderful in the purport that Lord may appear as one of us, but he is always distinct by his specific bodily features. Srimati Kunti claims herself unfit to see the Lord because of her being a woman. This is her humility. It's not that she is unfit because of being a woman, but she is a most enlightened lady. Prabhupada says, most enlightened lady. So here in the 23rd verse, Prabhupada's purport says, conclusion is that Krishna endows more favor to a devotee. Why more favor to the devotee? Because he is in greater danger. Sometimes he puts his pure devotees in such dangers because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attached to the Lord. The more the attachment is there for the Lord, the more success is there for the devotee. So Krishna wants success for the devotee. Devaki and Vasudeva are fortunate. First, Kunti Maharani appreciated Devaki and Vasudeva, right? But now she says, I am more fortunate. Generally, we always compare with others and we say, he has got more wealth, he is more beautiful, he is more handsome, they have got more fame. Even after entering in devotional life, in Krishna consciousness, we see that, oh, he can do more austerity than me. I somehow follow Ekadashi, but he completely follows Kartik. But then if we follow Kartik, then we say, I am only following Kartik, but he or she is following complete Chaturmasya. And if we follow Chaturmasya, then we say, oh, he or she is also following that last Bhishma Panchak, very difficult one, right? So always we envy. But here Kunti Maharani is not envying from Vasudevji and Devaki Maharani, right? It is very important to understand. She is not envying. We have to learn how to fill the heart with gratitude. That gratitude is coming out of her prayers. How we can appreciate the others and how we can thank God. In fact, she is thanking God. She is telling my suffering is more intense than Devaki's suffering. Because Devaki's life has only one villain. Who was the villain in Devaki's life?
Her brother.
Kamsa.
Kamsa, right? Only one villain. Whereas in Kunti Maharani's life, even all 100 villains were there, right? And to support those 100 villains, there was their maternal uncle Shakuni had come, right? Their good friend Kanna had come, right? So many people, in fact, Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, though they were benign souls, but they were not actively, able to support Pandavas. So that way, if you see, Kunti Maharani was more helpless. And Srila Prabhupada says, that Devki always had her husband near him. But Kunti Maharani says, I did not have my husband with me. I am more helpless. I was more handicapped devotee. So I attracted more favor, more mercy. You have helped me more number of times than you have helped Devki. I am more fortunate than Devki. You protected my sons. You did not protect Devki's sons, right? Krishna came at 7th, but all earlier sons were killed. Why Krishna did not protect Devki's children? Raise the hand. Hare Krishna. Please raise the hands. One, two, three, four, five. Yes. Let me. Sri Haripriya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Krishna did not save Devki's sons because she already had a husband. In case of Kunti Maharani, husband was not there.
Okay, one reason is she had a husband. Okay. Yes, Vamsi Mohan Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, because they were cursed by, I mean, Kalanemi, that story is there.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Praneshwari Mataji, you wanted to add anything? What is not said till now?
No, Prabhuji. First one was the same answer.
Okay. So, yes, it is one thing that Devki had a Vasudev, and being a husband near, she could produce child, right? But Kunti could not. So, one reason is fine that her husband is alive, so her children were not protected. And Kunti's husband was not there. But second thing is, Devki was more fortunate. How Devki was more fortunate than Kunti Maharani? Because at the time of their marriage, there was an Akashvani, right? And from Akashvani, it was announced, and everybody knew that Krishna is going to come, right? That's such a great hope that Supreme Personality of Godhead himself is going to come, and with that hope, she could bear the death of her 6 sons, right? Because always there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that light itself helps to pass the journey. So, Kunti Maharani was always hopeful. And once Krishna took the birth, that is the third reason. Once Krishna took the birth, she did not have more suffering. Actually, Kansa released her, right? And only after some time she was again, brought to prison by Kansa. But otherwise, her experience was separation in Vatsalya. Right? She did experience the separation, but it was in Vatsalya Bhav. So Prabhupada says, why Krishna makes his devotees helpless? To increase the attachment to him. That is very important. To increase the attachment to him, and Krishna basically rallies his devotees' love and affection. He does needful to experience this love and affection. So what needful he does? He puts devotees into trouble. Though the pure devotees does not have karma. Actually, the living beings in the material world, they have to suffer because of several reasons. Karmis suffer because of the results of their vikarma. There are 3 types of karmas, vikarma, karma, and akarma. So most of the karmis, mostly we fall under that category, we suffer due to of our karmas. But the practicing devotees, the devotees who are in Krishna consciousness and who follow the Vaidhi Bhakti as per the nectar of devotion of Srila Rupa Goswami Maharaj, they less suffer due to vikarma. They suffer due to mostly anarthas, right? Their anarthas they have to suffer. But the pure devotees, they suffer for what? Then they suffer for, to increase their mallow, to Krishna makes them into troubles to establish their superiority even compared to the demigods, right? How much they are dependent on Krishna, right? Even if the Abhimanyu was killed, neither Pandava nor Draupadi nor Kunti Maharani, nobody blamed Krishna that you are all knowing, Sarvagya. How could you not protect Abhimanyu? But no, they did not do that. So Krishna, time and again, as we discussed that pastime of Kalia also, he puts himself into trouble, and then he sees that how Vrajvasis are feeling pain by seeing Krishna into trouble, and that is like a unison with Krishna. So Krishna puts himself into trouble, or his devotees into trouble due to this. So Queen Kunti further offers the prayers, and biography of a pure devotee by Satswarup Das Goswami Maharaj. And there he says, on arriving in New York, Srila Prabhupada had nowhere to stay but the ashram of impersonalist Swami. If you read Prabhupada the Lilamrut, this wonderful pastime comes. He is impersonalist. Still Prabhupada stays with him. And to see students submissively listening to a speaker who denied the personality of Godhead was painful for the pure devotee. But was he to go homeless and beg in the street? A holy man might have been able to do that in India, but not in Manhattan. So even alone, Prabhupada says, you are doing solid work. So mood of a devotee is very important. But it says that even though there are so-called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. Actually, we come to Krishna consciousness with lot of hopes, and we perform lot of austerity. We do lot of devotional service, and by doing that, our karmi mindset, it always makes us expecting something in return. It is our mindset. It is our silence programming of our consciousness, that whatever we do, we should get something in return. So we feel that there should not be any calamities in my life. There should not be any upset in my life. There should not be something which is unpleasant or unexpected things to happen to me or my dear ones. All results should be more than what I expect, like that. But then we are missing the point. We are missing the point. We are missing the opportunity to come closer to Krishna. We are missing the opportunity to increase our surrender to the Krishna, right? We are missing a golden chance to come closer to Krishna by experiencing those adversities in our life, right? So when we come into similar situations, maybe our situations are generally not as tragic as those in the lives of pure devotees like Uttara and Pandavas. Param Pujya Namanishta Prabhu says, Krishna tastes only that much for which we are capable of passing through. माया उतनी ही एग्जाम लेती है कि जितना हम लोग पास हो सके. कृष्णा उतना ही अलाउ करते हैं. That much only he allows the Maya to taste us, right? But in such tasting situations, if we remember these pastimes of the pure devotees of the Lord, we remember how much Kunti Maharani has tolerated. We remember how much Pandavas have tolerated, how much Draupadi has tolerated, right? Then we are able to come closer to Krishna. Like Aswathama was caught, and Arjun brought Aswathama to Draupadi. And then Draupadi immediately, removes his all bindings and makes him free. Even she starts, glorifying him, and then she asks to relieve him. And Krishna internally gets very happy because Krishna himself is so much compassionate, right? We are doing so many mischievous things, and still Krishna is so compassionate to us. He always tries to bring us closer. He sends his devotees, right? And same way, when he sees that we are also that much magnanimous, we are able to, forego and forget others' offenses, and we are focusing more on moving forward in Krishna consciousness. Then he appreciates us, right? So Prabhupada says that so-called calamities are welcome because they are an opportunity to remember the Lord, right? Pure devotees like Kunti want to experience utter dependence on the Lord, and hence even willing to face calamities in their lives. To give benefits to us, you destroy unsteadiness caused by intoxication of material comfort by giving the ointment of dangers arising out of your mercy. Very wonderful verse. This is the Bhagavatam 4th canto 22 chapter 40th. A similar reference is these are the impediments in our journey to Krishna consciousness. And the examples are given here are Nal, Kuver and Manigri. Right? Kunti Maharani says that this Janma, Aishwarya, Sruti, Sribhir, these four things are impediments to progress in spiritual life, impediments to develop the love of Krishna, right? And out of these four, Janma means higher birth, a birth in an aristocratic family is impediment, right? A person will always have a, arrogance. There are chances that he will be always having a pride that I am in a very high family. I am born in a high family. Then second, Janma Aishwarya. Aishwarya means wealth, lot of wealth. Shruti Sribhir, higher studies and beautiful or handsome body. These four are the opulences which binds a person to progress in Krishna consciousness. And out of these four, which one is the most binding or most blinding? Which one is the most blinding out of these four? Janma, Aishwarya, Shruti, Sri, right? Higher studies, higher birth, higher wealth, and good bodily features. Out of these four, yes, Prema, Priya, Jai Sri Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Opulence, Prabhuji, opulence.
Yeah, Aishwaryam, yes, Mataji, yes, opulence. Opulence is the most difficult one to, cross over. So here example is given Nal, Kuvera and Manigriv, they were a kind of, intoxicated and they offended Narad Muni. And in that instructions of Bhagavatam, if you read, Narad Muni very in detail describes that why this opulence, the Aishwarya, the wealth is the most biggest impediment in our spiritual life. He describes in very much in detail. Right. Similarly, Indra fails to properly honor his spiritual master Brihaspati, and then immediately his fall down happens. So we have to be very careful about amount. Even in Nectar of Instruction, Updesamrut, Rup Goswami, when he lists down the six impediments towards bhakti, what are they? Anybody remembers the verse? Complete verse.
अत्याहार प्रयासश्च
प्रगल्भो
प्रजल्पो नियमग्रहः
जनसंग
जनसङ्गश्च लौल्यं च षड्भिर्भक्ति विनश्यति.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. The first one is Atyahar, right? First one, the foremost one. And the same thing is here, Aishwarya, wealth, right? Atyahar, Prabhupada describes in the purport that Atyahar doesn't mean only overeating. Atyahar has another important meaning is over accumulating, right? Nowadays, everybody has, enough to survive, enough to feed the family, enough to ensure the future prospects, education, or the, medical expenses, or the so-called social expenses like marriages of their children. All these things people have minimum, Generally, they inherit also the houses or land or whatever. And even after having so many material opulences, both husband and wife are working. Not only they are working, they work till the last year, till the system allows them to work, right? And that leads to so much accumulation of wealth. And it is an intoxication. It is the highest intoxication. As the more wealth is getting accumulated, our chances of going back to Godhead is reduced in proportionate, right? Not only we are intoxicating the next generation who are coming in our, hereditary. Because seeing more wealth and more opulence, they are, they will always be diverted towards the Maya. So it is very important. So Kunti Maharani says that I have been blessed with all four, and hence it is difficult for me. This exercise we may do if it further time permits. But points here we have to focus on is the dependence on the Lord, number one. And then Secondly, the approach of difficulties in life. Okay, we cannot expect that we'll be out of danger. We should not be disturbed by the sea waves. Just try to cross over the sea. The example of the sun has been given here. Sun, when it comes, it makes the sunstone sign. Okay, but the blind person cannot see the sign of the sunstone. Okay, so whether sun has come and sunstone is shining, it doesn't affect him. But the Chakravaka bird is very happy seeing the sun. But the same sun is harmful to the owls and thieves because they cannot do. So sun is giving his mercy to everybody. Similarly, the Lord is giving mercy to everybody. He is impartial. But there is a sloka in Gita, na? Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I am equal to everybody. But still, my devotees, Bhaktyamam, my devotees are very, near to me, dear to me. In the same verse, Krishna says, though I am equal to everybody, but my devotees are able to appreciate and absorb and, accumulate more mercy, what I am showering to everybody. Ganges gives nourishment to mango trees and also gives nourishment to neem tree. So, like that. Then Kunti gives various opinions about Krishna's birth. Before that, on the 27th verse, Kunti Devi says, Akinchan Vittaya. In the 26th verse, Kunti Devi, if you have Bhagavatam with you, can you open and find out? In the 26th words, also similar word Kunti Maharani has used. In 27th verse, I think Akinchan Vittaya is used. And in 26th verse also there is one word. Hare Krishna.
In 26,
Akichana Gocharam.
Gocharam. Yes, Gocharam. Yes, thank you, Mata. So in 26th verse he says, Tam Akinchana Gocharam. Akinchana Gocharam means one who is approached easily by the materially exhausted man. Easily approached. Right? Srila Prabhupada, when he was doing his business, he was among the top 3 pharmacists in India. And then his business completely went to zero. In fact, there was a theft in his building and everything was lost. And then he said that was a Lord's mercy. There is a wonderful verse in Bhagavatam also. I'm missing that. Whomever you shower your mercy, you make him penniless. What is that verse? Hare Krishna. Yes, Shiva Kumar Prabhu.
Yasyaham anugruhnami, tasya dhanam harishyami.
Harish. Yes.
यस्याहम् अनुगृह्णामि हरिष्ये तद्धनं
Tad dhanam sane. Right. So he doesn't do this favor to everybody. Right. He does to those who are akinchana gocharam. Right. And then akinchana vittaya. So unto the property of the materially impoverished. And then she uses one word, Nivrutta Gunavruttaya. Nivrutta Gunavruttaya means completely transcendental to the actions of material modes. Though Krishna is involved by his plenary expansions in creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the material world, he does come in contact with matter, but still matter doesn't affect him. So she says him, Nivrutta Gunavruttaya. Similarly, devotees of the Lord who are attached with the Lord, they are not affected by the dealing with matter. Kunti Maharani also says Krishna as Atma Ramaya. He is self-satisfied. Krishna is disinterested in non-devotees. Krishna's reciprocation with pure devotee is such that Krishna becomes the treasure of pure devotees. But for others, non-devotees, Krishna is Atma Ramaya, self-satisfied. I have nothing to do with you. You do whatever you want to do. I will act in the capacity of the super soul. What does super soul do? If somebody who will go to the top of the building and jump, he will commit suicide. Super soul will record the action, right? And he will tell Yamraj, these things he has done. So accordingly, you can give him this punishment. But the devotees who approaches him in a Bhagwan feature, if somebody is dependent on Krishna, then Krishna's compassion and mercy will overflow from his heart. Krishna will protect him. So for the devotee, Krishna is always active, in fact proactive. Whereas for non-devotees, Krishna is passive, inactive, super soul, like that. Then in 28th verse, Srila Prabhupada writes wonderful purport. And we have some time. I would request somebody to read from Eternal Time, 28th verse, purport. Hare Krishna. Who has...
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Eternal time is the witness of all our actions, good and bad, and thus resultant reactions are destined by him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeed for which we may suffer at this present moment, but we must remember that Paramatma is a constant companion, and therefore he knows everything past, present, and future. And because the Paramatma feature of Lord Krishna destines all actions and reactions, he is the supreme controller also.
Yeah, just
Without a
stop there,
sanction.
Mataji.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from then you can you jump to the line without his sanction? Without his sanction. That paragraph is also very important. Without his sanction till suffering. Same paragraph, same purport.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, without.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Without his sanction, not blade of grass can move. The living beings are given as much freedom as they deserve, and misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. The
Hare
devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom, and therefore they are the good sons of the Lord. Others who misuse freedom are put into miseries destined by the eternal Kal. The Kal offers the conditioned souls both happiness and miseries. It
Hare-
is all predestined.
Yes. Okay, please stop, Mataji. So here Prabhupada says we may forget, thank you, Mataji, we may forget, but Krishna as super soul is constant companion. Krishna is aware of all three phases of time, past, present, and future. Right? Krishna is, Sarvagna. He remembers everything because he is pervading throughout the history, presence, and future. So he remembers. In fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, do you remember? Imam Vivasatevan Proktavan Aham I
इमं विवस्वते योगं प्रोक्तवानहमव्ययं प्राह मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे.
Swaku me bravit. Yes, Mataji. Very nice. So Krishna says in that verse that Arjuna, I have given this yoga to Vivaswan, right? Suryadev Vivaswan, right? And Arjuna asked then that you and me are contemporary. How you could say that you have given this to Vivaswan? Then Krishna says that you have forgotten. You and me have many births, but I remember every birth, but you don't remember. So Krishna is Sarvagya. Throughout the timeline, he is there and he remembers everything. And not only Sarvagna, being a Sarvagna, he makes him Kritagna also. How it makes him Kritagna? Because he remembers the smallest serving, smallest offering we have done in any of our lifetimes. Right? Even now, like a small child is there in our home, and we simply tell him, okay, beta, before you go to school, just offer a Tulsi Patra to Saligram, or just offer a Tulsi Patra to Gaurnitai. Just we say, he doesn't know, she doesn't know anything about it. She does simply out of, respect to his mother or his grandfather or whomsoever, right? He or she does that. But Krishna remembers everything. We don't remember even 1 week before what we have ate. But the smallest act of serving to Krishna, directly or indirectly. Param Puja Namanishta Prabhu gives example, wonderful example, that there is a karmi person. He is not interested in Krishna consciousness. And on the crossroad he was standing, and some devotees were going for Sankirtana, and they asked the route to reach some place. And that karmi just showed them the way to reach that place. But Krishna immediately notes that this person has helped my devotees to reach the place, and that Sukruti gets added into his spiritual bank balance, right? So Krishna is not only Sarvagna, being a Sarvagna, he is a Kritagna also. So we say now, whatever we do in this lifetime is going to carry it forward. For the next life, whatever we are doing, we are going to forget, but Krishna doesn't forget. So that is the important thing. Then Prabhupada says, without his sanction, nothing, even blade of grass doesn't move. But secondly, same thing, same purport Prabhupada says, we have been given minute independence. We are not just the puppets. But this minute independence we are using for doing vikarma, and due to which we are required to suffer. And this suffering also comes by sanctioning from Krishna. And Prabhupada says we can change our destiny. Then in the 29th verse, Kunti Maharani in the 20th verse says some people consider you a partial. But in the 29th verse, Kunti Maharani says, no, you are not partial. You are equal to everybody. And then these examples, what we saw, that comes. And one more example comes that when sunrise happens, then lotus, blooms, lotus flower blooms, and a bumblebee comes from somewhere to extract the juice from it, and then whole day it extracts the juice from the lotus flower, and then it forgets, and at sunset the lotus flower closes its beads, and the bumblebee dies inside the lotus flower. So sunrise or sunset, it is for everybody, right? And bumblebee could have been saved if she would have been conscious of the sunset. So as a sun is showering its mercy without any bias or partiality, but it is upon the living being to decide. It is upon us to decide the greatest sun, Krishna's mercy, how much we can absorb. Then in 30th verse, Kunti Maharani, tells Krishna that though you are involved in so many so-called activities, but you are not touched upon by that. Like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Name karmani limpanti, name karma phale spruha. So even though he is being observed as doing so many things, Krishna is supporting Pandavas, Krishna is bringing Draupadi to Bhishma Pitama in the evening, when Bhishma Pitama said to Duryodhan, after 10 days when there was nothing happening in the war and Bhishma Pitama was just observer, and then Duryodhan taunts Bhishma Pitama that you are eating our food, but you are only helping Pandavas and not harming them. Then he says, you send your wife after I finish my Sandhya in the evening, and I will bless her Akhanda Saubhagyavati. Then you will be never dying, as my blessings will never forego, and then you will win the war. Because if the king is never died, then the war is never lost. So he says so, but then Krishna very cleverly says Draupadi to, enjoin him, and Draupadi, completely covers her head, and when Bhishma Pitama finishes the Sandhya, she reaches there, and Bhishma Pitama blesses her, Akhanda Saubhagyavati Bhava, and then he realizes, oh, she's a Draupadi, she is not Bhanumati, the wife of Duryodhana. And then Bhishma Pitama realizes this is nobody else, but it would be Krishna, because he is a super soul, he knows everything. Now doing all these things, even that another incident, when Gandhari said, I will open my, closed eyes, and she asked Duryodhana to come without any clothes, and she said, wherever my, vision will be there, your entire body will become still. But at that time also Krishna comes in between and then tells Duryodhana, you should at least cover your private parts. And then that led to, damage of Duryodhana in the club fight with Bhima. So even after doing all these things, which seems like that Krishna is biased, Krishna is trying to support Pandavas, Krishna is harming Kauravas, but still he is not, involved in that. He says, Name karmani limpanti. And none of the deed of the Krishna becomes the load on that. Many people says that, that Krishna was cursed by Gandhari, and bowman and archer killed Krishna in the Bhalkati. Krishna was very much painful, sorrow, all these things people say. But Krishna has time and made it very clear that janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvata tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. So his deeds, his birth is all transcendental, divya. That Kunti Maharani praises him in the 30th verse. In the 31st verse, again Yasoda Maiya was in focus. Similarly, like Prabhupada says, Kunti Maharani praises about the Damodar Leela, right? Rudantam Muhul Netram Yudmam Jantam. The Lord of all the powers is crying. So various ways Kunti Maharani tries to pray to Krishna, remembering his pastimes, his involvement in their lives. Like in this particular slide, as we say, she is telling Punya Sloka Kirtaye for the glorification of the pious kings. Then Yado Priya Priyasyan Vayavaye, reciprocate with Yadus who were great devotees. Apare Vasudevasya Devakyam Yachito Bhagat. To reciprocate with Devaki, Vasudev who prayed for the Lord. Aistvam Asya Kshemaya, Lord appears for the welfare of all the people. Vadhayacha Suradvisham, to annihilate the miscreants who are envious of the Devatas. And Siddhantya Bhuri Bharena Jatohi Atma Bhuvartita, to reciprocate with Brahmaji's prayers. Text 34. So, then one of the verse, Bhavesmin Klishya Mananam Avidya Kama Karma Bhi Sravana Smaranarthani Karishyan Iti Kechana. And yet others say that you appeared for the sake of rejuvenating the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when came, we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are two purposes. One is internal purpose, one is external purpose. Internal purpose is, yes, that he wanted to, feel the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani and gopis, and how much ecstasy, how much joy, how much bliss they feel in remembering Krishna, in serving Krishna, in separation of Krishna, right? For that internal purpose he has come. But the external purpose is again to establish the Sankirtan movement, to establish the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? So, like in Bhagavad Gita also, like Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunaya nam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma sanstharpanataya sambhavami yuge. Dharma sanstharpanataya, that is also one of the purpose, right? So, here says that, Kunti Maharani says that you came to establish the devotional service, and that helps conditioned souls to remove the sufferings and material pangs, and give them the advantage and gain the liberation. And she says the root of all the problems is avidya. From avidya, kama comes. From kama, the karmas. And the solution is Shravan, Smaran, and Arhani. Then Kunti Devi gives various opinions about Krishna's birth. And Prabhupada says only those who render unreserved, uninterrupted, favorable service unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who carries the wheel of chariot in his hand, can know the Creator of the universe in his full glory, power, and transcendence. This is not Kunti Maharani. I think this is 1.3.38. Okay. So, who can attain the devotional service? This is the qualification criteria. In Kunti, this Vasudeva and Devaki, before that there were 3 births, right? And those all 3 births, Krishna came as their child, right? Because of their, they were highly qualified in devotional service. So we have to come to the higher standards of devotional service. We should try from Vaidhi Bhakti to Raganuga Bhakti. We should, as Guru Maharaj always blesses, Krishner Mati Rastu, our highest goal should be to achieve the love of Godhead. And by doing that, we can, get the association of the Lord, and we can serve the devotees of the Lord. So, Srinvanti Gayanti Grinanti Apikshana, and O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet. Certainly. The word is you certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. And there are primary qualities in the spiritual world. One is non-enviousness. This is the most important quality to become non-envious. And this is one of the most fundamental anarthas we have. And we should try to come out of it. I've heard from a devotee that to come out of enviousness, we should always try to praise, to see the good from other devotees or other person. Whenever the idea, the thoughts of envy come in our mind, we should try to praise that devotee. We should find some good out of him, and we should definitely convey that goodness. And by doing that slowly, we are able to remove the envy from our conditioning. And we should encourage others to advance in devotional service. Like Param Pujya Namanishta Prabhu says, so many preachers should come out, so many administrators should come out for serving online. We have all gathered here, and like Radhika Mataji, in spite of she is traveling all the days, she is trying to support. And there are many other devotees who are very busy in their schedules and still joins as a participants, or like Prabhu gives a service as a administration, or many devotees are coming as a teacher or a facilitator. So all these things are going to help themselves even more than the devotees, because they take pleasure in getting more mercy of the Lord through helping others. So I think this is all. We will end it here. Thank you very much. There are few exercises, but the content is so important. So I thought better to cover the content, and then anyway, as part of open book and closed book questions, these things will be covered. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण
Thank you,
हरे
Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji,
Hare,
thank you.
Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Hare.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you.
Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna Prabhu,
Mataji.
just a small announcement which I would like to make
Yes.
is, very quickly, for all those who have already written the exam, no problem, but who are already a part of the other Bhakti Vaibhav, who are not going to write the exam for the first module or for the first 2 modules, there is the link which has been posted, which you all need to update. It is there in the group and it will be active till tomorrow, which means that you will not write the exam because you already have written the exam elsewhere. And if you mention from there, we will take the score. Is that clear? So in the group, we have posted a link, not in the Zoom, in the WhatsApp group. In fact, it is the